Hi, and welcome to Focal Point, AAFR Talk. Brian Fisher is my name. Great to have you in the conversation. Free for All Friday. We'll be glad to take phone calls on anything that's been in the news over the course of this week. So we will open up the phone lines a little bit earlier today, 888-589-8840. Glad to welcome you to the conversation. More troubles with the Obamacare rollout. Let's grab clip number one, Rob. Now, California has got more uninsured people than anybody in the country. This is supposed to be nirvana. This is the golden state. If you're in the insurance business, you're a health insurance company. And again, I think the health insurance companies got taken for a complete ride on this whole deal by Barack Obama. This Obamacare is going to bankrupt health insurance companies. They are going to get bankrupted on this because they're losing. Remember, they're losing all these customers from these companies. These larger companies saying, we're getting out of the health insurance business altogether. We're dumping you into these exchanges. Walgreens is dumping 160,000. UPS dumping 15,000 spouses. I mean, the list just goes on. University of Virginia dumping spouses onto the exchanges. Hey, you don't need to get it from us. You go get it from Uncle Obama. So these people are now doing that, and it is turning into a total catastrophe. People just aren't signing up. They can't even sign up. So here is a story from KUSI in California. KUSI in California reporting on what's happened in California. Remember, the first story we brought you out of California is they reported the first day, this is fantastic. We've had 5 million people flooding the website. Well, it turned out they exaggerated by a factor of 10. The true number was about 645,000 out of that. And you know how many people actually signed up on day one for insurance? KUSI gives us the answer. Let's listen.
Well, it appears Obamacare is having some problems here in California, and apparently it has not sold even one insurance policy yet on the state exchange. First of all, we've learned that here in California, only about 500,000 people visited the covered California website on its first day of operation, not the 5 million originally reported by website officials. Earlier in the KUSI News at 6, I asked a spokesperson for the covered California group to explain why we were all misled.
I think it was a misstatement that was made by one of our spokespeople. What happened was there was about 500,000 people that visited the website and clicked through a whole bunch of different pages, and those were counted as 5 million views. But they're not unique visitors, as you're suggesting. Those were about 500,000 folks.
And instead of signing up for Obamacare, only applications were taken. Nobody is actually enrolled yet because the people behind the scenes are not trained yet to sell anything. The exchange received about 7,100 applications, however, and the covered California website, as you know, if you've tried it, is still experiencing some technical problems. Many say the system crashed when they tried to create an account or look for information. People calling for information as well, they say they had to wait 30 minutes or more. Remember, if you don't have health insurance, Obamacare forces you to buy health insurance by January 1st.
So there it is. California, first day, not one person enrolled in Obamacare. Not one. The most populous state in the union, not one single solitary person enrolled in Obamacare. And I mentioned before the break or at the top of the show, the HAs, the Health and Human Services, these are the people that are running Obamacare. This is Kathleen Sebelius and her crew. By the way, she's from Kansas. She used to be the governor of Kansas. Not one person from Kansas signed up. Not one. This is her home state. She is the deaness of the healthcare movement. Not one person from her state, according to Tim Huelskamp, representative, signed up for Obamacare. And she's got a website that's been hacked. This is the portion of the website of the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration that's run by the HHS, run by Kathleen Sebelius. It's been hacked. Dozens of pages hawking retail merchandise have been uploaded to the website, ranging from NFL jerseys to UGG shoes to Armani fragrances, and they've got screen capture after screen capture. You know, and somebody said about this whole program, a computer expert said, look, this is a hacker's dream come true. This is going to be Disneyland for hackers, this whole Obamacare deal. So the hackers are able to get on the website It's just the people who need insurance cannot. Hackers, I mean, this is amazing. Hackers have no problem getting on the Obamacare websites. It's the people that need insurance that cannot. And it turns out a Canadian firm was behind this whole thing. President Obama actually hired a Canadian firm, did not even hire an American firm to build the Obamacare exchanges. Gave them $56 million to set this thing up for launch. A Canadian tech firm, this is from Washington Examiner, Canadian tech firm that has provided service to that country's single-payer healthcare system is behind the glitch-ridden United States National Healthcare Exchange site, healthcare.gov. GCI is the name of it, GCI Federal. It's a subsidiary of a Montreal-based firm. So Obama says, hey, look, they got single payer up in Canada. That's our dream come true. That's what we want for America. Let's go get the guys that set up the Canadian system to come and set up our health care. So this is the fault of the Canadians. Now, speaking of signups, let's play clip number 2, Rob, if we can. Clip number 2. This is an Obama official because, one of the questions, well, how is it going? Everybody wants to know, how is this rollout going? How swimmingly are things progressing? And here's what an Obamacare official, this guy is an official with the Obama administration. Here's what he had to say last night about how things are going.
Here's another piece of this. We've essentially done 1.5% of the enrollment period. We've got another 178 days left to go. So I feel pretty good about where we are.
All right, Gene.
David, when are you going to have some numbers about how many people have actually enrolled for insurance besides Barnacle?
So, Mike Barnacle is a good validation point any day. I'd like to rest on that. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to spend the next few weeks accumulating data, probably do monthly reports like we do with other programs, with Medicaid, Medicare, and others. And then use that time also, and I think this is an important piece, especially for me, to learn what's working in some places and what isn't in other places.
So we don't have hard numbers. We're not going to have hard numbers. It's going to be a month before we got any hard numbers for you. We'll probably do this like we do a lot of, what they're just doing is buying time. We don't have anything for you. We don't know. We've got no idea. Jay Carney said the same thing. I do not have data for you about how many people have signed up. And the media went absolutely gaga. They were just in a frenzy. They had this paroxysm of excitement swept through the mainstream media because they finally found one guy. They found one guy that had signed up for Obamacare. One guy. Remember, I brought you that story from the Washington Post yesterday. They had 12 reporters on this. The Washington Post had assigned 12 reporters to talk to people about the wonders of Obamacare and the glories of their experience getting all this health care. By the way, they took the word free off of their website. Their website was advertising free health care. That's gone. About the middle of September, they took the word free completely out of there. They left the word low cost in there. Free is gone. That's out of here. That's history. And so they found this guy that actually signed up for Obamacare. He became a national hero because they found one. Remember, the Washington Post had a picture of a unicorn on that on their website. We're looking for a mythical individual that we are not sure exists. Somebody actually enrolled in Obamacare. Here he is. His piece from Washington Examiner. American media outlets were finally able to track down a mythical creature, a person who actually signed up for the Obamacare exchanges online. That person, Chad Henderson, admitted to the Washington Post that the premium for the plan he enrolled in was $175 a month. Now, here is the deal. Without Obamacare, Henderson could have received health insurance for as little as $44.72 on ehealthinsurance.com. This is according to Michael F. Cannon of the Cato Institute. So right now, he can get insurance for $44.72. Under Obama, he now has to pay $175 a month, and that's going to go up in January to over $190 a month. So his premium has quadrupled before he's even started paying for it. And yet, according to the media, this is a monster success story. But this guy was absolutely besieged by the media because he was the only one anybody could find that had actually been able to enroll. And he tweeted out that he'd been interviewed by the Wall Street Journal, by the Washington Post, by the Huffington Post, and by Politico. So they were just gaga over the fact they had actually found somebody that had actually been able to navigate the Obamacare website and was actually signed up to getting health care. It's just a catastrophe. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Patricia, Wilmington, North Carolina. Patricia, welcome to Free for All Friday with Brian Fisher. What's on your mind?
Thank you so much, Brian, for having me.
You bet.
I've been so terribly upset about the World War II memorial and the veterans not being able to go in. And they're the ones who made it possible for us not to have to speak Japanese or German.
Absolutely.
But this morning, when I read the Drudge Report, my blood began to bubble. And I called my representative, Mike McIntyre. He's in southeastern North Carolina, and he's a Democrat, but he's a good Democrat, and he looks out for our troops. And I asked, what is this on Drudge Report? They're saying that Obama has cut the signals or the frequencies which allow our troops around the world to look at the NFL football games and the professional baseball games. What in the world does that have to do with what's going on here? Our troops don't deserve that.
Well, and you're exactly right, Patricia. I don't know how many of our people in our listening audience have heard about this, but President Obama is keeping Camp David open.
Oh, so
that's where he can go for the
there.
weekend. That's his spa. It's his fancy pants weekend retreat. Got the cabin, the whole 9 yards. He can go there and shoot skeet all he wants. He's keeping that open. He's keeping his golf courses open at Andrews Air Force Base. He's making sure that the military Air Force bases and the military golf courses are open so we can go play golf. But he is not allowing our soldiers overseas, not allowing them to watch NFL football, not allowing them to watch the baseball playoffs. This president is petty. He is mean. He is vindictive. And he is childish. I don't know any other way to describe this other than those words. I mean, I'd like to be kinder, but this is just mean-spirited. And by the way, if you haven't seen this, those barricades at the World War II memorial, and it's the only one he's doing this to. President Obama's not doing this in front of the World War I memorial. It's the World War II memorial. Those barricades are up, and now the park police have wired them together. They've been wired together so they cannot be moved. Focal Point, AFR Talk. Back in 2.